Hello everybody and welcome to this week's version of the NXT review where we're going to review last night's NXT results. My name's Matt and I'm from the Bad Bookers podcast, and let's just get straight into it today. So we started NXT last night with a couple of matches where the War Raiders faced a set of jobbers. They then did a quick promo where they said that rather than listening to them, you should just watch them. We then had another set of jobbers come in. The second set we've seen, I don't think we've ever seen the first unnamed local talents. I don't even think they were given names by the commentary. The second set were Cesar Bononi and Adrian Jaoude or Jaoude, who we have seen a couple of times on NXT before. I think they've lost every match they've been in. They're fairly new recruits. Jaoude is a black belt in something or other. I can't remember if it's taekwondo or judo or something, but he's got some form of martial arts kind of background. But again, they ran through both tag teams, both times finishing with their double team finisher. The first time with one guy on the bottom, and then I think it was Hansen pinned the first fellow and Rowe pinned the second fellow. It was the other way around. Either way, they did their thing where whoever was pinning the other fellow just went on top anyway. So just building up the match for Friday night where we've got Ricochet and Aleister Black versus the War Raiders. I'm really looking forward to the match. It did exactly what it needed to do. It was fairly quick, and yeah, they defeated both of them. It like I say, yeah, it did what it did. We then had another tag team match where Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch went up. Oney Lorcan was accompanied to the ring by Danny Burch, and then obviously Jaxson Ryker, who I finally learned one of the names of the Forgotten Sons. He was accompanied to the ring by the other two of the Forgotten Sons, who I still don't know the name of. They really should have done something like this before the Dusty Rhodes, because we haven't seen any of the Forgotten Sons in a while. I didn't know I couldn't remember the names of any of them when they were in, like, they managed to get to the finals, and I kind of didn't know who they were. I did know, obviously, the tag team, but I couldn't remember the names of each of the different ones, so at least I now know that, Jaxson Ryker was the fellow in this match. Both of them look strong, but in the end, Jaxson Ryker came out on top. I assume this is building to a feud between the two teams. I can't think of any other reason why you'd have this match. I assume there's going to be a dark match between the two teams for the NXT next week or the week after. There was a couple of matches where I think that's going to be the case, or a couple of promos and matches where I think that's going to be the case on this card. We then had a big long promo. I think it was after. It might have been before this match, but I think it was after, where we had a video package for the Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole match at NXT, and I'm just going to quickly cover this because I can't remember when I last did. I've been at work, so I am unable to do at least the last week. So I might have done one the week before. I can't remember when I did a review, but the if I haven't done one for the 5-on-5, the Fatal 5-Way 2 weeks ago, it was just an incredible match. The entire NXT was perfect. They had build to that match, build for a takeover, and then just an incredible match. They gave it just over half an hour, I think, and it was absolutely brilliant. Loved every minute of it, and the right result was out. You knew going in that, well, if Matt Riddle's facing Velveteen Dream, and if the other two, I assumed that they would be winning, and last week they did win, Ricochet and Aleister Black. So I kind of knew that they weren't going to be pulling double duty. They weren't going to change any other matches at such short notice, just to the detriment of, just to make sure the NXT title match was there. Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano was always going to be a fantastic match. They're two incredible wrestlers. Both of them are great at pulling storylines from nothing. Johnny Gargano could continue to play on his, well, this is me. All my time in NXT has been building to this. Since the IY split, this has been my end goal. I've been close a couple of times, and now I'm on my way to finally getting it done. Adam Cole comes out last week. The promo that they had about 15 minutes, I think, at the start. Might be between 11 and 15 minutes, where they just let the crowd have their fun, and then they manipulated the crowd so that they were, instead of reacting a face way to Adam Cole, which everybody does, they managed to get him to the crowd to act like a heel, like he was a heel, which was incredible. When the amount of people that love Adam Cole, to be able to make the crowd boo him was brilliant. Sorry. But yeah, so I think there was another promo package in here. Again, brilliant. I'm so hyped for this. I cannot wait. It's going to be match of the night. The entire takeover card, it just screams class. It's going to be better than any takeover I've ever seen before. I really can't wait. And then obviously the final match of last night's NXT built to that. So we had Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. They had probably about 15 minutes where they were fighting. It was a very, very good fight. I've been critical of both of these wrestlers in the past. I'm not a fan of Kairi Sane. She's been getting better recently. I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair. I hadn't seen anything to tell me she wasn't until this match. I was really impressed by both of these women. They were really, really... There was no, like, botches or no, like, bits where you could see they'd forgotten to do something. They changed direction and stuff like that, or they run to one corner and stop and then run to another, or they change direction halfway through sprint and anything like that. None of that this time. Both of them look very, very fluid in the ring, and it builds to Friday night's Fatal 4-Way. The match ended in a no contest where there was a run-in from Shayna Baszler and her friends, where Marina Shafir and the other one, Jessamine Duke or whatever. I mean, both of those really stop bringing them to Full Sail, just leave them in the Performance Centre. Then they're not anywhere near the class that they need to be in order to be wrestling. Both of them would benefit certainly from a lot more time in the Performance Centre. They might have good wrestlers inside them, then just need it kind of coaching into them, but they both always look awkward when they get in the ring. It just shows you how good Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are for them to switch very, very quickly from MMA over to a WWE style of wrestling. It's not even like an indie style of wrestling. They both, obviously, Ronda has her strikes, Shayna has her strikes, but both of them kind of focus on submissions, which, yes, all right. But Shafir and Jessamine Duke just look out of place every time they're in a ring. Then, following the no contest, so obviously the bell rings because they attack both Bianca Belair and Kairi Sane. And then the entire women's locker room ends up coming out. Io Shirai comes down. There a lot of people I've never heard of. Lacey Lane got thrown over. Bianca Belair did her press, whatever she calls it. Just like basically a military press above her head, and then threw. I think it was Lacey Lane out over the top of everybody who were sort of on the bottom of the ramp. We then had Io Shirai kick. I think she kicked Belair out the ring and then did one of her moonsaults that she's famous for. She's boxed a few in the past. This one looked fine. Obviously, it was to a lot of people on the outside. I really enjoyed this. They made me even more excited for this match. I can't wait. The other thing, I can't remember when it was. It was before this. It might have even been before the Oney Lorcan versus Jaxson Ryker match. We had a promo from Bask in Your Glory, what's his name? Keith Lee, and Dominic Dijacovic. Obviously, their feud ended when in a double count out, kind of 5 weeks ago, I think it was. They had a match, had a double count out because Dijakovic did a lionsault where he jumped onto the second rope, did a moonsault. If he landed in the ring, it would have been a lionsault. Outside the ring, I don't know whether they call it that, but that's what it is to me, so that's what I'm calling it. He did a lionsault. He took out Keith Lee, but neither of them could get back in the ring before the 10 count. We then, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had... In fact, it was the week of the Fatal 5-Way, so whatever that was 2 weeks ago. We had a promo where Keith Lee was training in the ring with a few guys, and Dijacovic came in and sort of shouted that he wanted a match again. He wanted to just end it right there. They managed to kind of work them away. I also assume that's going to be one of the dark matches next week. I'd be interested to see, because Keith Lee and Dominic Dijacovic both are Vince-style wrestlers. They're big guys they're agile. Keith Lee can definitely talk. Dominic Dijacovic, maybe. We've not seen much of it, but what we have seen, I've been impressed. I'd like to see it, and I can see maybe I've been hypercritical of. I don't want everybody to be taken out of NXT to go to the main roster to make the main roster better, because they never used them properly anyway, and I'd prefer to see the guys on NXT. I could quite happily let Johnny Gargano go up now. I'd quite happily let Ricochet and Aleister Black, I assume, are up after they lose on Friday night. I would assume Johnny Gargano. There's two options for the main title, and I have no idea what they're taking. It'll either be Johnny Gargano wins and stays around, and Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era do something different, or you've got the other option that they can do, where you could possibly have Johnny Gargano lose. Now, initially I didn't think there's really a place for him on the main roster, but obviously we've got Superstar Shake-Up in 2 weeks. Like, you got Monday Night Raw and SmackDown next week, and then you've got Superstar Shake-Ups. Now, if they make space for Gargano to either go for an IC title or go for a US title, or kind of get him up on the main roster, beat some of the lower mid card, and then in the title picture by either SummerSlam or Survivor Series, I can see him in either of those title pictures, and I can see the fans getting behind him. Obviously, he's had some great matches on NXT takeovers in the past, so he's better placed than some people who've gone up. I think Almas, whilst he was a great wrestler, I think a lot of the casuals had maybe seen one or two matches, maybe seen the Gargano match and maybe one or two of the other ones, whereas I think there's a possibility that the people have seen at least the Gargano versus Almas, then the 3 Tommaso Ciampa matches. It was Adam. Who did he face? It was not. It wasn't Adam Cole. It was Velveteen Dream. He's in the last sort of 5 or 6 takeovers. He's been in and around the very top match anyway. So yeah, I can see him being somebody who doesn't need that build when they get to the main roster. I think the likes of Aleister Black, who yes has had great matches, but they've been further down the card. He only had the NXT title for a very short time. I think if you're going to I think they had to build him with Ricochet. I think if you promoted somebody like, just trying to think of somebody on the NXT roster that kind of hasn't had those. I suppose Velveteen Dream's never really had I think he had one NXT title match. So I think if you promoted somebody like that, you'd struggle to get the crowd to cheer them without a build. Whereas I think Gargano, you probably could. So I'm leaning towards maybe actually Adam Cole winning this, because you've got Dijakovic and Keith Lee, who could fill in at either the mid title or the top title. Then you've got Riddle, you've still got Dream, you've still got the Undisputed Era. You could have Roddy Strong going for the North American title if you get Adam Cole to win the top title. You could then have the other two going for the other gold, the tag team gold, and them trying to hold all of it. There's lots of storylines you can do either way. I'm really looking forward to TakeOver on Friday, as I say. Yeah, so that's my review of last night's NXT, plus talking about the ones I've missed and talking about the stuff for Friday. Jack usually tries to cut them out and get them on the YouTube channel, so hopefully we'll get that. If not, you'll have to go back and listen to last week's podcast, and obviously this week's podcast will predict the main roster stuff. Yeah, so check it out. If you want to see more of these videos from myself or Jack, or I know Smoothman is doing New Japan videos as well, so yeah, you want to see anything from us guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you put your notifications on, and if you're enjoying the content, please leave a like. Any comments down there we will interact with. Yeah, just thank you very much for tuning in, and see you again soon. Bye.